they don't move tonight, something's wrong.
If they don't move tonight, they're moving tomorrow.
They're moving tonight. We're gonna kill tonight.
Oh, yeah. It definitely feels like a killing night tonight.
You good, Jordan?
Yep.
Sounds good. Well, she's 4:30. Let's hit her.
Let's roll.
Get
All
after
right.
it.
Good luck.
Should be a good night.
Good luck, Josh.
No, no.
See you
Straight,
boys at
man.
dark.
Good luck. Good luck.
Good luck,
Look.
buddy.
We just got set up here. A spot we call North Slip. The original spot it's just to the south of us here where we normally hunt this. But what we kind of found out this year, these deer, we haven't been getting them a lot on camera daylight. We know we got a pretty good idea where they bed, just to the north here in this little cattail slough. So Brennan and Aaron a few days ago decided to bring a ground blind in here and kind of set this spot up a little bit different. And we're kind of doing that in hopes that these deer come in a little bit earlier. The buck that we're in here after, we call him Flat Top 10. We've actually had 3 years of pictures of this deer. He was in last night right at probably just after shooting light. So we're hoping that maybe he'll just get up a little bit earlier tonight. We got some cool weather this afternoon, but there's a couple good shooters in this spot. I actually punched my tag here last year, not too far from here, so there's good bucks in the area. We got pretty good weather tonight. We got good weather tomorrow, so I think between the next couple days, between me and Josh, we should have a pretty good chance at knocking down a buck here. But we're gonna sit back and enjoy the nice, cool North Dakota afternoon. It's 7:15 right now. It's cooling off here pretty fast. I bet you it's dropped 10. I bet you it's dropped 10 plus degrees here in the last half hour. I would imagine these deer are going to start moving pretty soon here. We've kind of been keeping an eye on the cell cameras here. Starting to see some deer pouring into some other spots. So hopefully we're anticipating these bucks to get up out of this kind of this woodlot and swampy marsh area here to the north of us. So I think any minute now something's going to happen. When was she up there?
All right, we just getting to our spot for tonight, and man, it's feeling like a good night. Temperatures are a little cooler than last night. The wind was whipping pretty good last night, like 20 miles an hour, so that's all kind of died down nicely, so it's feeling like it's going to be a much better night, and man, we think these deer are going to be moving tonight, so we'll see what happens. All right, we are in North Dakota here for the early season. I think it's like September 16th. It's my second day out here with the guys from the Breaking Point. Last night was pretty slow, super windy. The wind has kind of picked up again here this afternoon, but hopefully it dies down the last little bit here. But we're in a spot here where there's been a really nice buck coming out pretty consistently in daylight. So we're hoping to catch up with him here this evening, and we're gonna sit tight here for a couple hours and see what happens. Got about an hour, a little over an hour left of shooting light, hour and 10 minutes, something like that. We're seeing 7 or 8 does, long ways off. But I guess it's good that these deer are moving hour and a half, 2 hours before shooting light ends. So earlier movement than we saw last night. So we'll just hope something gets on its feet here in the next 45 minutes to an hour. So we'll see what happens.
Hey guys, welcome back to another First Light in the Field. Aaron and I are whitetail hunting up in North Dakota right now. We had rain showers pretty much for the most part of the day, and as you can probably hear, it's still coming down on us here in the tent. We don't typically hunt whitetails in the rain, but this is kind of a unique circumstance here. This rain is actually supposed to pass and leave us with a couple hours of dry hunting here this afternoon. And we're hopeful that the deer are gonna move. So I just wanted to touch on our rain gear that we're wearing for First Light. There is the Vapor Storm Light jacket, and then I've got the Boundary Storm Tight pants on. But just a perfect lightweight option, especially for, I mean, we could be sitting in the rain right now, it could stay completely dry, but today we just used this stuff. We wore it on our way in here. We wanted to stay dry. We didn't feel like getting soaked and then freezing our ass off here this afternoon, so wore this into the blind. We're gonna strip it off. If it is raining when we leave, we'll put it back on, but it ain't supposed to be. So the Stormlight jacket, I think, weighs about 12 ounces, so it's extremely lightweight, extremely packable. It's great to have in your pack. Same with the pants. I think they're a little bit heavier, 19 ounces, 19, 20 ounces, but it's got the turret hood on it. It's got the waterproof zippers, side zippers on the pants, so you can put them on over your boots. Just a really good option for rain gear, and even if you're not using it very often, when you do need it, it pays for itself 10 times over. So if you haven't already, check out firstlight.com, check out the rain gear. It's good stuff.
Night, night, Thule kite. Like a night, switch the socks up.
I did too. I switched mine.
I changed my underwear.
There we go. Oh man.
We're not peachy anymore?
Nope.
We're kind of in a jungle gym of a tree here tonight, but we're pretty hidden. I will give it that. This is a new spot we call Pollinator. This is our first sit into this spot. We had last night a really nice 10-pointer on the cell camera here, right at last shooting light. There's 2 or 3 other really solid bucks in this spot that we've been getting on the cameras. They're kind of just, they're hit or miss. They're not really on a consistent pattern. But this is the best weather that we've had this week. Got a little bit of a front coming in tonight. We got a 180 on a wind switch, which I think might kind of throw these deer off. these deer want to cooperate. It's been kind of slow, really, the last few days for us, so something's got to give here pretty soon. We just got eyes on our top buck here. Buck we call Buzz. He's a big 9-pointer. He must have been bedding. I think he just got out of his bed. He's about 500 yards straight east of us. There's like a cattail slough in a pond over there. And it looked like he was bedded up right on the backside of it. He's kind of just milling around in there right now, kind of figuring out what he's going to do, but we got quite a bit of time left here, but he's going to have to kind of start moving if he's going to make it to us in time. I think that's going to be about a wrap for the evening. We watched that buck for about half hour. And it looked like for a minute he was going to head our direction, but he turned and started heading south. There's a big standing cornfield off that way. We kind of lost sight of him in some taller grass, so I'm guessing that's kind of the direction he was wanting to go to, is get up in that cornfield, feed over there for the evening. But at least we got eyes on a solid deer. It's been kind of slim pickings for deer activity. Just wish he was a little bit closer. We got a few minutes of light here left. So, with any luck, maybe something will surprise us here, but if not, we're taking it down to the last day of this trip.
All right, it is Saturday. It's the last day of my hunt out here in North Dakota with the Breaking Point guys. And if you can't tell, the wind is absolutely just ripping. It's like 20 plus mile an hour winds, and we're holding on for our lives up here in this tree right now. But looks like it should die down about the last half hour of light maybe. So there's been some good bucks in here on camera last couple nights just right after shooting light, so we're hoping that they just come out a little bit earlier, especially if this wind dies down a little bit. So we'll see what happens. Wraps up my trip to North Dakota. Man, we've had a blast. So we had a lot of fun. Never fun to get skunked, especially on your last night, but we gave it a heck of a shot. So can't thank Brennan and Mike and Aaron and all the guys enough for having us out at Dakota. Truly a special place. So hope to get back here again someday, and maybe later this season for the late season. So we'll see what happens.
It's about 20 after 7 right now. About 5 minutes ago, Taylor just spotted one of our shooters, kind of in the same area where we did last night. We weren't able to see him. He's about 10-15 feet higher up in the tree behind us, so our visibility is a little more limited down here, but he said he was about 500-600 yards out and went into the cornfield and lost sight of him. Without seeing him, my guess would be it was probably the same buck we seen last night, because that's kind of what he did. Is he got up and headed south initially. We did get trail camera pictures of him at this stand location like 20 minutes after we left here last night, so he must just do a big loop or something. But it's good to see that a good buck's on his feet. We got a lot of cover here to the north and south, so who knows, maybe something's bedded closer too that will come through here during shooting time. So we got probably about 40-50 minutes of camera light left here, so we've seen more deer already than last night, so things are kind of looking up here. Yeah.
You're shitting me. What buck?
He said 8.
Is he big?
He's pretty nice.
You're kidding. Hell yeah, boys.
That's what we're looking for. Tonight was kind of a crazy night in the tree. It was warmer, it was windier than the other night, so we didn't really have high hopes, to be honest, coming in here 2 nights in a row. But as luck would have it, we seen a pretty good buck on his feet early, and he made his way in the corn. We seen some does quite a ways out, but nothing really close. And then we were probably the last 10 minutes of light here. Kind of was hanging my head and ready to pack this trip in, and all of a sudden at the last minute I caught a glimpse of this buck coming right down the field edge here, and he came into 11 yards, and took me a little bit to make a determination on it, on the age class of this deer and what we were working with, but I decided, you know, I got a good look at his brows and his bases and body and said this has to be a mature deer. We're, you know, looking at him right now and thinking that he's probably 4 years old, at least. It's just always tough out here because of some deer just don't grow the big racks like you're used to seeing in the Midwest, but made the determination that he was a buck we wanted to take, and put a perfect shot on him. He only made it maybe 75 yards from the tree, and tipped over right in the beans. So pretty special. It was awesome to have Josh and all the guys from First Light and Captured Creative in camp here the last few days. It's just been a fun experience, having some new faces in at Camp Dakota. And I can't thank Aaron and Brennan enough. They've been busting their butts out here all August and September, running cameras, scouting new areas. This deer wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for them guys. So as always out here, it's a team effort, and I'm just lucky enough to be the one in front of the camera pulling the trigger tonight.